Alright, much Abrew about nothing time. Playing some Alesha Reanimator in Modern. And this hand just doesn't do anything. I mean, we can bolt a couple creatures, try to play a Master of Cruelties. We are on the draw. Alright, we'll try this. Hopefully we're in a matchup where bolting creatures is good. Alright, Bloodstained Mire for our opponent. Cracks it. Gets a mountain. Alright. And Goblin Guide. Well, I guess this is okay. Not great. What do we have on top of our deck? Another land. Well, play Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn. And I think we just discard Bojuka Bog. It was between Bojuka Bog and Ghost Quarter, and I think Bojuka Bog is a little worse because it comes into play tapped, and Exiling the Graveyard isn't really relevant against Burn. I think we gotta crack this before we see the trigger. Because we're gonna shuffle whatever it is away anyway. Get a mountain. Because we gotta bolt the Goblin Guide. Alright, we get a swamp. So, bolt a Goblin Guide. I guess there's a world where we live long enough and just get in a hit with Master of Cruelties. It does have 4 toughness, so it should be hard for our opponent to kill. Lava Spike to 14. And... Alright, Rift Bolt suspended, so we're at a virtual 11. Overgrown Tomb tapped. Pass turn. We don't have much for life gain. I guess we have a Scavenging Ooze. It's probably our best card against Burn. There's an Eidolon. Well, bolt the Eidolon. Go to 9. This feels weird, but I think we have to Thoughtseize. Searing Blaze, Eidolon, and Deflecting Palm. Okay, this isn't bad. So let's take Searing Blaze. So we actually saved ourselves some damage there. Deflecting Palm will be interesting. So take Searing Blaze. Our opponent actually doesn't have any damage in hand, which is kind of nice. And we're going to be able to play Pia and Karen into Master of Cruelties. There's Eidolon. Eidolon's not too scary now, because we can just play stuff that is so expensive Eidolon doesn't trigger. So, let's Pia and Karen. Make some Eidolon blockers. We know our opponent has that Deflecting Palm, so we gotta be aware of that if our opponent leaves up 2 mana. I guess Pia and Karen also allows us to shoot down the Eidolon if we need to play something cheaper. And 7 is definitely better than 6 in this matchup. It means 2 Lava Spikes doesn't kill us. Opponent's going to go attacking. Well, let's just block with Pia and Karen. We could actually get there with Master of Cruelties. It doesn't actually deal damage. Alright, opponent Lightning Helixes our Pia and Karen. That was an odd sequence. Not sure why they did it that way. Well, alright, play Ghost Quarter. Play a Master of Cruelties. I don't think there's any reason to attack. Because we're hopefully going to just put our opponent to 1 with Master of Cruelties. Opponent draws a land, so they have Deflecting Palm and 1 unknown. If we draw a Lightning Bolt, we've already used 2, but if we draw a Lightning Bolt, we can just win with Master. Just Abrupt Decay the Eidolon. The question's going to be, is it worth Abrupt Decaying the Eidolon anyway to put our opponent to 1? It would let our Master hit for 19, which would be pretty sweet. The problem is if our opponent has a burn spell to go with their Deflecting Palm, then they could draw another one and that would kill us. The other option would be just to attack with Master. Our opponent will likely chump with Eidolon. Well, let's see what we draw. Opponent passes. We draw a land. I think we have to kill the Eidolon. So if we don't kill the Eidolon, our opponent chumps. That just gives them an extra turn to draw, but we're at 7. We know they have Deflecting Palm, so they literally... Oh, it's going to be hard for them to actually kill us. Unfortunately, we can't really do anything. Oh, man. If we kill Eidolon, we're dead to a top deck burn spell. But without a top deck burn spell, we just win next turn. If we don't kill Eidolon, our opponent chumps. We're at 7. I guess we're dead to double burn spells. But we give our opponent 2 draw steps instead of 1 to draw something. And since they were missing their land drops, they got to have 1 burn spell in hand. Boros Charm also... Boros Charm, I think, is a reason to do this. Because Boros Charm plus a burn spell kills us from 7, and it still kills us from 5, but it doesn't really make a difference. So I think that we should just go for it. So, kill the Eidolon, drop to 5. And Master doesn't actually deal combat damage, so it can't be deflecting palmed. And then with our 2 Thopters next turn, we attack, even if they deflecting palm one of them, the other one would be lethal, because our opponent's going to get hit for 19 by this Master. So I don't know, I think this was the right line. Hopefully. We'll see if it... I mean, we could still lose, definitely, to a top deck either way. But it would have been bad to wait and then lose to Boros Charm plus a burn spell. Ooh, opponent cracks their Wooded Foothills. I guess they might as well, because they're going to be going to 1 anyway. So they might as well do it now. So we drop to 5, Eidolon down, get in with Master. What does our opponent have? Oh, they might have been thinking about casting Deflecting Palm, but it doesn't actually work here. Alright, so opponent drops to 1. And then I think we're going to Ghost Quarter our opponent. Because I bet they don't have a Plains. Alright, there's the Bolt. So they did have a Bird spell it had. They get a Mountain. Alright, so that cuts off a lot of outs. Pass the turn. Boros Charm doesn't kill us. Lightning Helix doesn't kill us. Since we got rid of that. Come on. One time. Whiff. Oh, this is so close. So basically, our opponent needs a red burn spell here. Any red burn spell. Opponent passes. Alright, well, let's go for it. Get in with our 2 Thopters. Are we getting the Master of Cruelties win? It looks like we were so far behind, but that Master of Cruelties caught us 100% back up all by itself. 1 hit. Oh, if our opponent's slow rolling a lightning bolt, I'm going to be so sad. Alright, and our opponent scoops it up. Sweet. Whew. So we got there. It took some doing, but we got there. Alright, so against Burn, I guess our main sideboard plan is Brindlebore. Sakadine for life. We can get it back with Alesha. We have Scavenging Ooze, which is good. Stuff that isn't great, probably Kolaghan's Command. Actually, Maelstrom Pulse isn't very good. Tassiger's fine. Maybe just the Thought Seizes. Go down the Thought Seizes, especially on the draw. Is there anything else we can bring in? Jund Charm, Damnation, Boil. We don't really have a lot of sideboard cards for this matchup. I guess we can leave in 1 Thought Seize. Oh, we gotta play 61, that's right. Maybe Jund Charm is better than the other options. We'll bring in Jund Charm. 1 copy. At least you can put counters on things, which could be relevant. I think it's better than another Thought Seize. Ooh. Alright. Well, combo hand. I mean, our opponent could probably kill Alesha, but we can looting away the Alesha, or looting away the Master of Cruelties to get it back with Alesha. Seems reasonable. Bloodstained Mire for our opponent. Cracks it. Gets a Mountain. And Monastery Swift Spear. Alright, opponent gets in for 1. Well, let's just Wooded Foothills, crack it. Get a Mountain, and just Faithless Looting? Oh dear. Well, discard Master of Cruelties and Bajukabog. Pass the turn. 2 more lands is not close to what we were hoping for. Especially since getting that Mountain means we can't Abrupt Decay next turn. Alright, opponent cracks Bloodstained Mire. Gets a Mountain. Lava Spikes us down to 15. And then Swift Spear down to 13. Yup. Alright, well, let's... another Alesha. Alright, Overgrown Tomb tap, pass turn. We might just be dead. We're at a pretty low life total. There's the white mana, so Helix and Deflecting Palm and all that stuff are online now. That said, if our opponent can't kill Alesha and we get back our master, we just win. We do have the combo. There's a Terminate. Well, I mean, I guess we... Oh, it's so risky. I think we got to go for the win. So, crack Bloodstained Mire, get a Swamp. I think we just got to play Alesha here and hope for the best. Pass the turn. Searing Blaze is definitely the biggest blowout here. So hopefully that doesn't happen. If they throw like a Lightning Helix or a Lightning Bolt at Alesha, that's relatively fine. Alesha is also a good blocker thanks to First Strike. Our opponent would need 3 Prowess triggers to get through Alesha. So it's, well, I guess 2. 2 Prowess triggers. But still, we have reasonable blocks here. I think if our opponent attacks, we definitely just snap off the block and hope for the best. Opponent. Alright, opponent passes. Jeez, do we just go for the win-win? Well, let's play Bloodstained Mire. Crack Bloodstained Mire. Get a Swamp. Go to combat. Attack with Alesha. Are we just going to get the combo kill? Get back Master of Cruelties. And then we just terminate, I guess? And if our opponent doesn't have a removal spell, we kill them on the spot? Oh my goodness. Alright, there's Master of Cruelties. Terminate Monastery Swiftspear. What do you got, opponent? Oh no. What do they have? Oh, they brought in Path. Alright, so they Path our Master of Cruelties. Yup. Yeah, we'll get a land. Get a forest. Well, I guess this is still okay. Because next turn we have the mana that we can flash back our Faithless Looting and spin the wheel again. Maybe. I mean, I think really Brindlebore might be the best one if we're going to hit something to reanimate. Alright, Swift Spear, Bloodstained Mire for our opponent. So I don't think we're dead this turn. Opponent's going to get in. Yup. Down to 9. There's a Thoughtseize. Alright, let's lead on Faithless Looting. I guess we discard Blood Crypt and Stomping Grounds? That isn't exactly what we were hoping for. Play a forest. Get in with Alesha. Nothing to reanimate. And I guess we just pass. Thoughtseizing seems risky, because our opponent could easily, with so many lands, they could easily just empty their hand, and then we're taking 2 damage for nothing. If they just Bolt, or Boros Charm Bolt, or something. Sacred Foundry. Tapped. And we can't just kill the Swift Spear, which is good. Another Swift Spear. Problem is this Alesha by herself is not that fast of a clock. Still would just like to draw Brindlebore. That would be our best draw. Alright, opponent goes to combat. Are they only going to attack with 1 Swift Spear? Ooh, alright. That's good. So now we don't have to take any damage. We just Abrupt Decay the Swift Spear. Untap. Ooh, a Bolt. Alright, well, let's get in with Alesha. And pass turn. Leave up our Terminate for this Swift Spear if our opponent gets frisky. We're actually getting close of just getting the the Alesha kill of all things. Opponent. Especially with this Bolt at hand. Our opponent's at like a virtual 2 if we get in one more hit. So let's just terminate. Get rid of the Swift Spear. Opponent passes. We draw a Bloodstained Mire. Well, get in with Alesha. And I guess we just play Bloodstained Mire and Hope we live another turn. I mean, we're at 9. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. I don't know what those cards are if they're not killing us. Alright, Skullcrack down to 6. Oh, maybe they do have the burn to kill us. Wow. What's in our opponent's hand? Are they just flooded? There's a Swift Spear. I think we gotta try to take the hit from the Swift Spear. Ooh, opponent passes. Come on, deck. Oh, we draw Forest. Alright. Get in with Alesha. Opponent jumps. Play Forest, best turn. Yeah, that chump bought our opponent one more draw. I have no idea what's going on in their hand and why they're not throwing burn spells at our face. Goblin Guide. Yup. Opponent passes. Ooh, we draw a Tassiger. That's interesting. We can Tassiger, activate Tassiger, try to get back a Terminate or Abrupt Decay. I think we do that. That could also trigger something for Alesha. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I guess we just exile all lands. Play Tassiger. Activate Tassiger. How do we activate? Oh, I don't think we have any basics left. I guess this is fine. But we want to leave up Alesha. Alright, like this. Activate Tassiger. Ooh, it's a Huntmaster, but our opponent can give us back the Huntmaster. They gotta give us the Huntmaster. I guess they're worried that we're just playing land. Alright, that works. So go to combat, attack with Alesha, get back our Huntmaster. I think this was a mistake on our opponent's part. I think they had to give us back... I think they had to give us back the Huntmaster and just hope that we didn't have a land drop. Because giving us... leaving the Huntmaster just lets us get it back for 2 mana. So they had to just roll the dice, I think, and hope that we couldn't get it back. And it actually would have worked if they gave it back. We couldn't have cast it this turn. And then they would at least be drawing live, most likely. Now I think, assuming they don't have another Skullcrack and we go up to 8, now I think we're really favored to win. Our opponent can block the Huntmaster and go to 2. But then we can always get back the Huntmaster. Alright, it resolves. Problem with blocking the Huntmaster is we can just get it back next turn. Alright. Opponent's down to 2. We're going to pass. The problem with just bolting face there is if our opponent has Lightning Helix, that line goes super bad because we actually have to take 3 damage to cast the bolt. So that would just be a disaster. Our opponent might be... Alright, we get Abrupt Decay. Well, what does Deflecting Palm say? I think it's only 1. Yeah, I think it's only 1. So, get in with everything. They must have Deflecting Palm in hand. I don't know what else our opponent would have that they just aren't casting. And our opponent scoops it up. Sweet. Well, geez. I guess we can beat Burn, apparently. Oh, we'll take it.